Hi, everybody. So thank you, Christoph. So I'm going to talk to you now about the second of our presentations on global initiatives, about the opportunity for Sage and payments. And the first question you might have is, well, why payments? What we've heard so far today is all about business management software and services. Why is payments relevant to Sage? Why is it an opportunity? And actually the reason is pretty simple. Whether a small business, an upper mid-market company, an international company, a healthcare practice, every single business, every single organization, in fact, needs to get money in and pay money out. So payments is at the heart of the most critical business processes. And as you heard at the beginning of our session this afternoon, that's really the focus for Sage. That's what we do, is we're here to make core business processes easier for our customers. And as payments methods become more and more electronic, so more and more transactions are paid for using credit and debit cards, bank transfers, and as we go forward, mobile and other alternative payment methods. Of course, when payment is made electronically, what you have is data. And so there's a great opportunity for us to integrate that data into a customer's other systems and deliver them productivity benefits, increase effectiveness of their different business processes, and provide more valuable information to those customers. So what I'm going to focus on today is talk to you about the payments businesses we currently have, and two of the key opportunities that we have, what will drive the growth for payments going forward. That's integration and the opportunity that we have particularly in Europe. So we have three businesses run separately but with a common strategy, and we'll come to that strategy later on. The first business we acquired was Verus in North America, now trading as Sage Payment Solutions. Later that year, in 2006, we acquired Protex, an online payment gateway based here in the UK. And we rebranded in the middle of 2009 as Sage Pay. And just last year, in May, we acquired Netcash in South Africa. So in total, as you can see on the heading of the slide there, our payment businesses contribute 5% of group revenues. That's roughly around £70 million. Three-quarters of that comes from our North American business, Sage Payment Solutions. Next in size is Sage Pay, followed by Netcash. We have, in total, around 150,000 customers, and those vary in size from very small businesses. An example, which I'll come back to, is Guitar, based in Newcastle. They have a couple of shops, and they also sell online. No prizes for guessing what Guitar sells. Going up in the UK for Sage Pay, some of our large customers include high-profile internet businesses like SwiftCover, the leading online insurance company, part of AXA Group, and also Love Film. But then traditional businesses like National Express, so all bus tickets bought online in the UK are paid for using Sage Pay. So the majority of our revenue today comes from enabling card payments for our business customers, over 90% in fact. And so I just wanted to try and explain in simple terms what that means. So on the left here, you see the consumer who's making a purchase either online, maybe over the phone, giving their card details, or in a face-to-face environment. That information needs processing to authorize the transaction. And Sage acts in a couple of ways. We provide a gateway service, and that's the sole focus of Sage Pay. Our North American business also acts as the merchant acquirer. So any business that wants to accept a card payment needs to have a merchant account. And typically you might get that from a bank or a card processor. So Sage Payment Solutions in the US also provides that service. Sage Pay has only recently started doing that, so it's only this year that we'll start to show any revenue around merchant services. But just to put in context the kind of impact of that financially, the gateway alone, a small business customer for Sage Pay in the UK would pay £10 a month if they wanted to process a card payment over the phone. That's our basic service, so that's £120 annualized. But our largest customers, we're now invoicing over £10,000 per month, so that's over £120,000 annualized. And what's interesting about payments is it brings something new to Sage in terms of the revenue models, because that scale, of 1,000 times difference is based on the same service. These are not different products for those customers. So whether it's a National Express or a Guitar, it's the same gateway platform interacting with the customer, interacting with the banks that's processing those payments. Those are per transaction fees. On the merchant acquiring side, what gets interesting there is you take a percentage of the value of the transaction. So we have significant growth opportunities for our UK business there. It also explains the significant difference in size currently of our North American revenues versus our UK revenues. So beyond the secure processing of a transaction, what else do customers want when they're choosing a payment service provider? What else can they benefit from? Well, the heart here of these potential value-add opportunities is process integration, and it's very significant, and I'll come on to a couple of examples there, because it literally saves a customer time, also increases accuracy of the information. In terms of information, payment data is really interesting. So if you only sell online and you use Sage Pay, I mean, we capture transaction data on all of that customer's business. So being able to provide that data in the form of business intelligence through our reporting, either our own application or as APIs that can be integrated into other systems, really adds a lot of value to customers and differentiates us. We can increase payment success through additional services like fraud screening. We can also generate further revenues through our premium fraud screening service. So for some customers, if they're selling very high-value items over the web, it's worth them having each individual transaction vetted, and they'll pay actually more for that than they will for the payment processing. And actually, we can directly impact our customers' business performance. So in terms of when a customer uses our payment checkout pages, or in the States, if they're using our point-of-sale payment processing, the faster that is, or the more user-friendly the checkout pages are in the payment process, the higher conversion rate you're going to get. You're going to increase sales and return on marketing investment for our customers. So I've titled this slide the Sage Advantage, because actually when you look at payment processing this way, the Sage's core competencies, core capabilities, position us extremely well to win in the payment marketplace. So, of course, Sage is excellent at software development and has a long history and great depth of expertise around that. And you can't deliver these value-added benefits without delivering great software. We know how to support and provide extraordinary service to SMEs. And if you think of the payment space, so the UK, for example, which is has been dominated in the past by banks, banks don't support SMEs well. And if you're an online business in particular, you're literally trading 24/7. So we process many millions of transactions a month, and we process transactions across every single minute of the day. There's people buying guitars in the middle of the night. Sage, of course, as you saw, again, right up front at the beginning of the day, 6.3 million customers and growing. That customer base in a payment space is a huge envy of our competitors. So access to distribution channels, access to a large customer base is a huge inherent advantage that Sage has in this space. And finally, the brand, Sage brand, not just the awareness but the association with the brand, we've actually proven with our progress over the last couple of years in particular that this really adds value to us in the payment space. So the association with trust, with being expert in finance, and in Sage Pay, when we acquired Protex, as it was 4 years ago, it had 10,000 customers. Today we have 32,000. Half of that growth has come since we rebranded as Sage Pay. So we've not just kept the growth rate going, trading using the Sage brand, but we've actually opened up new opportunities, particularly in the mid-market. So just talk about that growth a little bit more. This is a stat actually David had earlier on. So one thing that payments does is open up new addressable markets for Sage. So 3/4 of the Sage Pay base in the UK currently don't have other Sage products. Interestingly, payments is a standalone product for Sage, as well as, of course, being a connected service, as you've heard today. So later this year, we'll be launching full integration between Sage Pay and Sage One. So we'll have an ideal product for the smaller Sage Pay customers in the UK to market to the Sage Pay base, and hopefully that dark green space should shrink over time. Another example of how we're driving growth for Sage is in our North American business. Since integrating some of our ERP products in the States in particular, we've had great success in cross-selling payments. And I'll go through integration in a little more depth to explain what the value is there for the customers. But you can see significant growth there over the last couple of years, and we expect that growth to continue this year in terms of cross-selling to the existing ERP base.